Right.
And did you know that I went in disguise as a Democrat to the Democrat ballot harvest training last year?
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, see, this is the thing. I hate being, political correct
Mm-hmm.
anymore, just because that's another way of control.
Right.
The thing is that our elected official that we elect from local, federal, and state and federal level, they need to be working for the people.
Right.
They need to uphold constitutional rights. And not only that, they need to do what's right.
Right.
And a lot of them are, in it for their special interests, lining up their pocket and being in bed with, the
Right.
PCP, basically.
Right. Yeah, they are. Yeah, political correct police right now. That's what it is.
Right, exactly. And so, the intel is that the Democrat is planned to take over Orange County, take over through ballot harvesting legalized in California and implementing it through the 50 states, and also vote by mail, because that's another way they can win. They can leverage to win in this November election. And then also their plan is to take the U.S. Senate. And, they already have the House. They want to take the Senate as well.
Yeah, I know they do.
But we're working hard, I mean, we're not going to let that happen. I mean, the Democrats, I no longer call them the Democrat. I call them the socialist left.
Right.
They pretty much, it's like the CCP.
Right, I agree.
Yeah, they live, they talk, they breathe, they function like the CCP.
Right, they sure do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very scary.
Yeah. And the reason why I say that is because, I ran for Congress this 2020 primary election, and a lot of people call me, even from the Democrat Party. They say that they went to their Democrat monthly meeting, and they voiced their opinion, just like, they believe that life is valuable, and the Democrat meeting, I guess we have the GOP, but they have the Democrat, meeting once a month, and they say, you know what, if you're a Democrat, you have to be pro-choice for abortion. If you're not, you need to get out. And so she's like, fine, I'm getting out. And so she's like, you got a new supporter here. You got a new, conservative here. So it's funny that the Democrats are pushing their own people out, and the Democrat Party is no longer the same Kennedy Democrat Party back in the day. It's a completely different party.
Yeah, the problem is though we don't want the Republican to get too powerful either. We don't want to have too much power in one party. That would not be good. That would not be good.
Exactly, and that's understandable. That's why our forefather created the two balance of parties, so we can come to discuss, agree to disagree, and there's a saying: if two are alike, one is not necessary. And that's the reason why we need a balance. But right now, in our day and age, the Democrat Party is not willing to even come to the table with President Trump and discuss and dialogue. And I feel like they have their own agenda. Like, if you don't agree with them, they can't handle it. They call you names. That's the first thing they'll do. They make you feel bad, and then they ostracise you.
Yeah, they sure do. That's exactly what's going on.
So it's like, that is not how our democracy is, or the republic's supposed to be, right?
No.
It's supposed to be, dialoguing, coming together, agree to disagree, have different ideas. Not one idea is always the best, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I think we have that balance before, but the Democrat Party wants to kind of, have one party system, like in California, as you know. It's just a Democrat rule for the last 45 years, and it hasn't done anything good for our state. It's basically worsened. The increase of homeless population, increase of needles, drugs on the street, increase of crime because they're letting criminal out. This whole COVID-19, they've let out 16,000 criminals out on the street, and it's ridiculous. They're child abuser, sex trafficker, and all that crime are considered misdemeanor in California. And it's bizarre, it's not safe for the people, it's not safe for our family, it's not great for business. So we need to change that. And I think November is a good sign for the red wave to change that in California.
I agree, and this is exactly what's happening right now in this country, because right now we are on the battlefield right now. We really, if you think about it, we're on a battlefield for ideal Christianity principles. We also have with these jail Christians, and then we have what other Christians are there? There is what I'm trying to remember the word, but anyway, we got conservative Christians, and then we have people and who believe in Mormon too as well. We have Mormons as well. So we have different Christians of all facts of all walks of life that we have here. We have believers and non-believers, but yet they respect the Constitution, they respect the Bible, they love this country, and that freedom, liberty march, it was like a Tea Party rally. It's the same thing as a Tea Party rally. Believe it or not, Amy, it was like a Tea Party.
That's awesome. And, like our forefather, when they have the Tea Party, Boston Tea Party, I mean, basically it's the same concept. They're basically telling the people, the king, England, that we are free man. You don't need to tax us to death. We're not going to do that. We're not going to have that. But now, as Americans, we're facing the same thing in the 20th century, 2020. And this is the time where, as Americans, we need to take inventory, evaluate what's going on, and be courageous, be bold, and stand up for what's right and fight for that right to preserve the freedom and liberty that we have here. If we don't, I mean, like Reagan said, this is the last stand in America. We have to fight for the liberty and freedom. We don't, where would we go? Where would we go? Nowhere.
That's so true.
So we enjoy the prosperity here for so long in America that I feel like as Americans we have lost this, fighting heroic spirit that we have in us that our forefathers had. We must ignite that again in America. And I think and I believe that it is starting. And it's exciting to see, to watch, the freedom fighter, in America here, and they're passionate, fighting for their families, their livelihood, and the freedom that they enjoy here. And so that's what we did in Sacramento, but not only that, throughout California, and I know other states were doing it as well. That's the bottom line message is that we, the people, will continue to rule ourselves. We know how to, and we're able to. The government is supposed to be small. It's a smaller part to kind of govern in the United States. They have a place, of course, the government. But the thing is that they don't dictate and tell people how to run their life and how to make a living. And I think the government has overreached, especially in the Democrat state, like California, Washington, Oregon, and other states,
Nevada.
But I think that's where the people will rise up.
Well, not just Oregon, not just California. It's also New Mexico. It's Michigan. It's in Chicago, and it's also in New York. Big one. New York, big one. I mean, look what's going on in New York.
Exactly. California and New York are like the worst. They're so similar. There's, of course, full Democrat leadership, elected officials, and the thing is that they keep electing themselves and their friends and family, and that's the reason why, and it's not balanced. And plus, they're trying to push for vote by mail, and it's going to be worse. But Trump is, not okay with that, and he's pushing back, and it rightfully so, because he wants to preserve our voting system, our integrity in our vote and our voice. That's what it is, and we need to protect that.
Absolutely need to protect us, and this is precisely my point when it comes to freedom in America, because that's what this country is based on. It's based on freedom, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. And right now, Governor Newsom, Kate Brown, and you got Gary, up in Seattle too, Washington State. We have Mr. Lease up there too as well. I mean, yeah, this is this is what's happening into America. I mean, James Lease. We should Jay Lease. We should not allow these people into office. Who are like your governor was the mayor of San Francisco. The governor and up in Washington State, Jay Leeson, he was on the Jerry Springer show doing info commercials of being a ambulance chaser. By the way, that's how he got into office, was just doing his info commercials on Jerry Springer, talking about being an ambulance chaser, a lawyer of the info commercial for Jerry Springer. I mean, this is the kind of people we have running this country. And then you have Kate Brown, who was not even appointed, was not even elected, was appointed by Kosofer, who had an affair with an intern, and she was running a burlesque operation in the governor's mansion. By the way, a burlesque operation.
Jeez.
So I mean, this is kind of corruption we have here in these 3 states.
Exactly. And that's why I think, as American, as Republican in general and American, we have, we trusted our elected official when we vote for them to represent us, but they're no longer like that they used to be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's sad. And that's why I feel like we, the people, must rise up and do our research and know who we're electing into office, where they stand, their values, and if they even believe in the Constitution. Like Omar and AOC, they don't even believe in our Constitution.
No.
I mean, they shouldn't even sit on there. Omar, especially, she shouldn't be there. I mean, she doesn't even represent America. She complains about America.
Right, and you're talking about
how evil we are. Yet, she really think that is. Then go back to her country. Let's see how well respected she will be.
And I just want to let people informed that you're talking about is the congresswoman in Minnesota. Omar is I call her a camel jockey. Okay, I mean, I'm not trying to be racist here, but she is a camel jockey. Is what she is. She's a Muslim camel jockey, and we got also, don't forget, in New York too as well. We have Andrea Gestapo-Cortez. Andrea Gestapo, as we call her, Andrea Gestapo-Cortez. We got these millennials who are in Congress, who don't even follow the law at all. It was like Nancy Pelosi. Remember what she said about having Obamacare? We got to see what's in it to vote what we have in it. Remember, it's like here's a lumber, here's a lumber, here's materials, but there's no plants, there's no foundation. But here's the lumber, here's materials for you to build a house. You can't build on that, can you?
Yeah, so that's why this November election is going to be very exciting to see who's going to replace Omar, and not only that, but AOC in New York. Yeah. So it's exciting.
Yeah, and also Nancy Pelosi comes up this year too, by the way. She comes up.
Yeah, exactly. But Nancy Pelosi is really entrenched in her district. It's really hard to take her down.
John Dennis.
We will see. We will see how it all play out.
Oh, it's John Dennis, by the way. He's running against her, and the guy we had John Dennis on this broadcast network in 2010, 2014, 2010, 2012, 2014, 2016. We had him on here 4 times, and he's been out in the forefront of Nancy Pelosi's districts, going out and meeting people. And he's been threatened by Nancy Pelosi's supporters. He's been almost kicked in the face by the Nancy Pelosi people, and also some of the constituents that she has too, has threatened threatening phone calls to John Dennis's office too, by his campaign office. By the way, his own campaign manager came out and said, we have received death threats from Nancy Pelosi's own constituents and her own cabinet. We have received death threats from them.
I know. It's crazy. They are insane. It's so sad that they have to go that low in politics, I bet our forefather would roll over their grave to see what politics has become.
Right.
It's very sad.
Yeah, it is sad. And I want to